Welcome back everybody, and in today's video we will be doing thumbnails. So part 1 was simple Blender stuff, and then part 2 was animation. And if you look here, I do make thumbnails for both Intel and Radio Max. Here are some of them. This was before I had the official cosmetics, so I had to make them myself. This one was with official ones. But you see, some are clickbaity, some are, action-packed, some are very simple. What I do recommend is having some sort of paper image, which is royalty-free, and you could screenshot this if you want, and some speed lines, then also some arrow. That's pretty much all you need. And then obviously you need Blender and Krita. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Radio Max told me to make a thumbnail called I Played Russian Roulette in Yeeps. So go into Canva. This will not be your editing software, but it's just a good way to get some ideas out. So I was thinking we could put Radio Max in the center and have him have a standard non-skinned pellet gun here, so the thumbnail lasts longer. Some sort of pellet gun. And then he is holding the pellet gun. Then in the foreground, we could have some other Yeeps looking at him like this, maybe. And then the lighting will be underneath his face, something like this. Okay, now that we've got the idea, let's hop into Blender. I do have Radio Max preset, but you can obviously make that with your Yeep based on my other tutorials very easily. And as always, credits to 3D Perspective for this awesome rig. His channel will also be linked in the description. So first of all, we need to import the pellet gun. Okay, so a lot of you have also been asking, how do you curve the thumbs or fingers or whatever? So select the rig, go down here to this armature tab, click on fingers, so this eyeball thing. You should see the fingers up here. Now when you go to pose mode, select Y up here. You can select the bones and R to rotate them. Then in a second, you will see you've rotated the bones. Do the same for the other finger. Go back into object mode, reposition the pellet gun a bit. Okay, now it looks decent. Okay, this thumb will be in the back, like behind the pellet gun over here, so it doesn't matter if we make that perfect. So let's shift select the rig and parent it like I showed you last time. So select this ring, which is the hand ring, hand controller, and Command P to bone. Now we have a nice parent. You can deselect the fingers because I don't like to look at them. Then select the rig, go into pose mode, and now we have to make the pose. R to rotate it to his head, bring it closer to it, go to the front, see how it looks. Maybe I did scale the pellet gun a bit too much. No worries, you can just scale it down a bit. Go back into pose mode. Now we want to bring some height into the elbows. So select the elbows, bring them back. Which allows us to get it a bit closer, stylistically. Now click Shift A and then search for camera. You probably already have one. Now go into camera and do Shift F using the setting that I showed you last time. If you don't have it, then go up here to Edit, Preferences, Key Map, Walk, Navigation, and put Shift F. What this allows you to do is if you are in the camera, you press Shift F, you can look around and you can use E to go up, Q to go down, and WASD to move around. It's super good. This allows you to put the camera wherever you want. something like this. Next up, you want to make sure that it is in cycles with about like 200 cycles. Then you want to go into world scene. If you do have light, which you can see by holding down Z and going up to rendered, you see there's already a lot of light. For this picture, we don't need that. That comes from the world lights. So you just scroll that down to 0. And you see there won't be any light except from his eyes. Now to add back light, we need to do Shift A, lighting. Now we just want a simple underlight. So R to rotate, G to grab, and do that until you have it positioned like somewhere around here with a dot in his face. Then we want to decrease this value because that's going to be way too much. That's how bright it is. You can always go to Z, hold down Z, go to rendered, go into the camera, and you can see how it will look. Additionally, you see this is a square light right now. You can change that by going into here, shape, square to like rectangle. Then you can move the sides out a bit more, which is good. Then we can also highlight the pellet gun a bit more. Now we want to make another light, add another light for the pellet gun. What you can do is you can just select this one, Shift D to duplicate, grab it here, and just decrease the size on the edges a bit. Grab it and rotate it into position. Go back into your camera, go into rendered mode. You can see that's way too bright. You can decrease the value to maybe 3.5. Just play around with it. Now let's make this a bit more on the cold side. So there's like a slight blue tint to the color. You don't have to overdo it. This is just to make a more dramatic and cold feel. Now we want to make an edge highlight. In case you don't know what that is, you see like on the edges there's just the tiniest bit. It's just the tiniest bit lighter than out here. That just draws your attention to the focus to Radio Max. So how you do that is just add another light area, rotate it so it's like something like this. Grab it, move it to the back, and then scale it all the way up. Usually this works fine. Yeah, that does look fine. Now we wanted to add the other Yeeps. I know some people wanted to add other characters as well. So this is how you can do it. You want to do File, Append, then you want to find wherever you keep your other, where you keep the downloaded Yeeps rig. So here, Yeeps tutorial.blend. Then you want to go into Collection and Rig. Now you have your rig. Now you might be saying, oh my god, just hide this rig. And maybe hide the pellet gun as well. Now you might be saying, okay, it's a bit smaller. That's fine. And there's also a camera. Just delete this camera. We don't need that. For all of these little objects, just select them and press H to hide them. So, all of them, just press H. Okay, you're good now. And now, since our camera is here, we want to just move it somewhere here. Go into pose mode real quick. We don't need the arms. Just move them down like this. That's the easiest way to get rid of the arms. You could also delete them, but that's just faster. Now, all we want to do now is just make it look good. So as you can see, it's not in the view of the camera. By the way, everything that's darker gray is not in the camera. Okay. Now we can just play around with the positioning of him. This looks good now. An important thing that we didn't have last time, which will be needed now, is if you scroll down, if you go to render settings, you scroll down. This is where you enable motion blur if you are making an animation, but we're not doing that. So go to film, and then make sure this is checked. That's the only thing you need to make sure. Just check this. Also, in the image output settings, this is where you change your frame rate if you're making an animation, and this is changing how long the animation is down here in the timeline. You want to make sure that it's in PNG, in RGBA, and that's about it. I think I have those settings already done for you in the file you can download in the description. So just render the image. As you can see, there's like these checker boxes around it. That means that it's a PNG with no background. Just wait for it to finish, to go to 200, and then we'll meet you in Krita. Okay, our render is done. As you can see, it looks really good. There's a tiny bit of edge highlight here, but more noticeably, it's on the heads over here where the blue starts to show a bit, and here as well. But okay, we want to save it. Save it somewhere you will remember where it is, and name it like Radio Max gun or whatever. And you can also save the file just in case your client or you get different ideas and want to change the file a bit. So we have our image here. Now you want to open Krita. Now you want to make a new file. Click on new image, custom document. Width is 1280 and height is 720. Resolution 9999. Now create. Now import your image that you just rendered. If you grab the corner and you hold down shift, it will keep its dimensions. If you don't hold down shift, you can like stretch it. So just stretch it so it's inside the frame. And now you want to import your paper. It's a good way to add some depth to the background if you're going for a more cut and paste style like Radio Max has. I like to just make that a bit smaller, something like this. This is where the fun stuff happens. You want to right click, layer style, and this is where you get all your options. First, we want to add a color overlay. Go to normal and then change the color to black. Boom, you will get a nice dark background if that's what you like. And since this is a very moody tone, we want to do that. Hit OK, and we're done with step 1. Now, I think we should also scale this a bit higher, like this, so he's more in focus. Now, all that is left is to add the exclamation marks, like I do in most of my thumbnails, and also add some speed lines. For the exclamation marks, you click on text, select somewhere, it doesn't matter, and you write 2 exclamation marks. The font I use is Burbank Burbank Big Condescended. You can download this and add this to your font book. I won't be showing you how to do that because that'll just take some time. Save that, close it, go back to this tool, and move it into focus. Now you can see that I have a gradient on the text. That is very easy to do. Just right click the exclamation marks, layer style, and then gradient overlay. Check that. Do 100% and do normal. Now you won't have some of these gradients, so add a new gradient and then choose these 2. Name it something and then hit OK. I already have that for this, for these 2 colors, and then click OK. You will get the exclamation mark. Now, based on your preference, I like to put it on top, but you could also change the layer hierarchy. So you could also put it below Radio Max, like this, if that's what you like to do. But I just put it above, something like this. Okay, now we're done. We can save it as something.cra, like radiomaxgun.cra. Now we can file export. Scroll down to PNG, Radio Max Gun, and then save it. Now we're left with a very crisp, nice thumbnail. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them down below. And guys, please subscribe. Last time we didn't have that many subscribers, so